Good morning student. Now today I am coming with your first physics chapter named force. So first question arises that what is a force? Force is a pull or push. If we have to effort a force to any substance pull or push, then it is called a force. So what is the SI unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton. Second number, force. How do we find out? Then we have to find out any force by mass and acceleration, because of force is the product of mass and acceleration. Mass, that means any object which have their own materials which is present in it, and the acceleration, just we have to increase the speed or decrease the speed of any object, then it's called the acceleration. अगर किसी object के ऊपर we have to apply the force, then maybe it's change its direction, otherwise its speed, otherwise if it is in rest then it is converted into motion, etc. Then force is equal to mass into acceleration, and the SI unit of force is Newton. Second number, then what we have to do when applying force? So listen it. Actually force is responsible to change the direction first. If we have to apply any force in any object, then it is responsible to change the direction. It is responsible to increase the speed or decrease the speed. Force is responsible to increase the speed of any object, otherwise to decrease the object, speed of object. Second number, if any object is in motion, then we, after applying a force, we have to stop it. Otherwise, if any object is in stop mode, that means it is in rest mode, then after applying a force, we have to convert it into motion. Force is also responsible to change the shape and size of any object. We also always watch then the dough of wheat is after applying force, it changes its shape or the size, otherwise any elastic, otherwise any bulb, anything. If we have to apply the force, then it changes inside. Next number, the forces is mainly two different types. Okay, according to applications, forces is mainly divided into two parts. First number, contact force, and second number, non-contact force. Contact force, according to name contact, when two objects come in contact and then the force is applied, then it is the example of the contact force. And what is the non-contact force? When without touching any other body, if the forces arises and change and make changes, then this types of forces is known as the non-contact forces. So listen it at first about the contact force. What are the contact force? Contact force is divided into three parts again. First number, muscular force. Muscular force, that means the force arises with the help of the muscles power. The force arises due to the muscles power. If I have to put any substance in my fist, that means this one is the example of muscular force. Second number, frictional force. If the forces arises due to the movement of two different body in each other, that means if it's slide and the interlocking is present, then it is the example of the frictional force. If the forces arise due to the friction, if the force is applied due to the friction, then it is the example of the frictional force. After that, elastic force. Then what is the elastic force? If the forces arises due to the elasticity of any object, that means this forces is only present in the elastic substances. That means in a rubber, elastic, etc. That means the forces arises due to the elasticity, then it is called the elastic force. Next, non-contact force. Non-contact force is again divided into four parts. Magnetic force, because of this forces is allowed is applied in any object without touching the particular object. That means the where it's worked, that means it's work without touching the another object. Second number, gravitational force, because of mainly what we have to find out that if we have to put a magnet in the contact of iron, then it's pull towards itself just because of the arising the magnetic forces. Next, the gravitational force. Gravitational force is also the example of the non-contact force, because of if we have to throw any ball upward direction, then it's come again to downward direction. Next, electrostatic force. Electrostatic force, that means the force arises in any non-conductor object, and when because of the potentiality of charges, a forces arises. Okay, and this forces is applicable to attract anything, otherwise to repel anything. Then this types of forces is known as the electrostatic force, and mainly how it's produced because of the friction of any any ebonite rod, otherwise any non-conductor, for example plastic, etc. It arises and then it's work. Then this is the example of the electrostatic force. Next, nuclear force. That means the force arises inside the nucleus of atom, and it is responsible to come in the contact of all the electrons just because of to arising the movement of electron. Then it is the example of the nuclear force. That means the forces arises because of the nucleus of atom, then it is called the nuclear force.